Here's the thing about hope. This is the key point that I want you to take away this morning. It's this. It's where you put your hope is the difference between death and eternal life. Right? Where you put your hope is the difference between death and eternal life. Are you putting your hope in something that actually cannot fulfill it? Are you chasing all these other things, all these false hopes that are just going to let you down? Or are you putting all your hope in Jesus and the hope of eternal life? Because Jesus tells this man this phrase, and then it says the man goes back to the religious leaders and says, hey, it's this guy Jesus who healed me. And then the religious leaders, they seek out Jesus to get into this argument with him. And we're not going to go through all those verses of the argument between them, but there's a couple of key verses that I want to pull out for you where Jesus highlights the importance of eternal life. And so in John 5, verse 24, in the middle of this argument, Jesus says this. He says, I tell you the truth, those who listen to my message and believe in God who sent me have eternal life. They will never be condemned for their sins, but they've already passed from death into life. Then as the argument continues in John chapter 5 and verse 39, he says this. He says, you search the scriptures because you think they give you eternal life. But the scriptures point to me. Yet you refuse to come to me to receive this life. Right? So where you put your hope is the difference between death and eternal life. Right? Are you like this man? 38 years. I'm not even 38 years old. 38 years. We don't know how old this guy is, but for 38 years, he lay at this pool chasing this false hope, and it was just destroying him. And Jesus comes and he says, no, I have true hope. I can give you the gift of eternal life. And it's a free gift. It's not something that we have to earn. It's not something that we get because we're better than everybody else. It is a free gift. That is the good news of Jesus. That at one point we were enemies of God, that we deserved his wrath, but then Jesus came and he lived a perfect life. He never sinned. And then he suffered and died on a cross, not because he did anything wrong, but he suffered and died for me, and he suffered and died for you, so that we could have the forgiveness of sins. Then he raised to life 3 days later, forever defeating death. He says, when you put your hope in me, when you choose to follow me, I am the only true hope in this world. I'm the only hope that leads to eternal life. Right? Where you put your hope is the difference between death and eternal life.